Hey, what's going on, guys? John the Video Guy here, and I hope you're doing well. I have a very nice video for you here today, as we will be comparing the Hero 9 GoPro to my baby GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And the reason I wanted to create this video is because I'm considering maybe updating my GoPro. So if you're in the same situation I am, if you're looking at the new GoPros that are out there now compared to the GoPros a few years ago, I'm going to be reviewing the Hero 9 and seeing what specs are new and what to consider if you're planning to purchase a new GoPro. Now, I still use this Hero 3 Plus today for all my time lapses and all my GoPro needs, so I'm gonna see how the Hero 9 stacks up against this guy. Obviously, every time I go to connect this to Wi-Fi, I'm like in the setting where it says Hero 1 through like 3, so I'm like, this is like vintage. Now, honestly, I just bought this on Amazon like I think 5 years ago, where I think like the Hero 5 was the newest GoPro back then. But it seems like every year GoPro comes out with a new GoPro. So we're going to look at the Hero 9, but before we do, I wouldn't mind if you hit the like button. It really helps my channel out. And with that, let's dive into it. So as we look at the Hero 9, it has some beefy specs, and their brand for this type of GoPro is more everything. So, you know, a lot of these specs have new stuff in them. There's more to it, higher resolutions, more megapixels, more features, more enhanced features. So as we look at the specs here, the key difference from the Hero 8 and 9 is now they offer 5K. So you can record up to 5K at 30 frames a second, which is pretty cool. You know, I don't know if technology has advanced that far for 5K. I don't know what you would use 5K for unless you're like zooming in and stuff. But you know, there's not there's not like 5K TVs out there really, so, and it's kind of weird that it's 5K and not like 6K or 8K, but it is what it is. That's a cool feature. And what's also nice is that they have 14.7 megapixels now, where before they had 12 megapixels with the Hero 8, and it's been 12 megapixels for a while now. So it's kind of nice to see that they've upgraded their megapixels to include about 2.7 more. So the other things about this camera is the battery on this camera, the new Hero 9, has 30% more life. So, you know, if you upgrade, you can expect a longer battery life, which I know this guy, I have to plug them in pretty much anytime I use them. So that's definitely a plus with getting a new GoPro, is that the battery life is going to be a lot longer than anything really in the past. And the other thing that's really cool that has been around for a while, it's not new for the Hero 9, but it's new compared to this guy, is that all the GoPros nowadays are completely waterproof, which is really cool. You can submerge these cameras underwater and you don't have to worry about water damage or you ruining your camera really. So that's a really cool feature. And you know, with this camera, I had to buy like a water casing. That way I can put this securely in here and it doesn't get wet. So with the new cameras out now, you don't have to worry about it. They're completely waterproof. I think what's pretty cool nowadays with the newer cameras, especially the Hero 9, is all the add-ons. So you can get a light, you can get a microphone, you can get attachable lenses that you can add to the camera, which is pretty cool. If you want to check out those additions, I've added a few links down below in the video description. Feel free to take a look at the accessories that GoPro provides. They're pretty cool and really enhance the GoPro experience. And the one thing is the Max Lens mod, which is really cool. It has groundbreaking stabilization, which is a key factor in GoPros, especially mine, where if you use this GoPro, especially for action shots, if you jump off a cliff or something and you know you're going down with this thing, it's going to be shaky. So, you know, having the advanced stabilization either through the lens mod, and it also has built-in better stabilization. It's called the Hyper Smooth 3.0, which is really cool. So they've really worked on stabilization, which I think is a key area, especially if you plan on using these cameras for action shots, whether you're biking, hiking, you know, you're doing something really active where the GoPro is moving around a lot. Now, in my case personally, I've really only used these for time lapses. So I never really had to focus on trying to stabilize it that much, but it's really good if you are looking for a camera where it's going to move a lot. The Hero 9 and a lot of the newer ones are really great for that. And the other feature, of course, compared to the Hero 3 Plus, which doesn't have, is up to 240 frames per second. So you can go to 8 times slow motion, which is really cool if you have those shots in mind where you want to have extreme slow motion. This is definitely the camera to get. Now, slow motion 240 frames a second has been around. Don't quote me, I think it goes back to like the Hero 5, so you might even be able to go back a few versions and still get the 240 frames per second. And keep in mind, this is only for 1920 by 1080. So this isn't for the 4K or 5K video recording. So you can really only record 240 frames a second in 1080. And I believe 4K in this camera is at 60 frames per second. So if we look at the specs here, under video, 4K, 60 frames a second. The 5K is only 30, and you can also do 24. And 2.7K, you can do up to 120 frames, and 1080, that's where the 240 comes in. So even though they're marketing 8 times slow-mo, you can't really do it at like 4K or 5K. So just keep that in mind. But it is a really cool feature. I know the Hero 3 Plus that I have can only do 60 frames at 1920 by 1080. So if I really needed to do slow motion, I could, but it's not a really high resolution. All right, let's talk about Time Warp 3.0. And this is a new feature that they added to the GoPro where you can actually slow down and speed up different parts of your recording. Now, as a video editor, I kind of have a bias towards this, but I'm not really a fan of this. I honestly think, as a video editor, you should just record it normally at a high frame rate, and you can use speed ramping later in post-production. But what this feature allows is if you're not really into post-production or you don't really want to get hands-on in video editing, this is a solid feature that you can use in the new GoPro to speed up and slow down and add speed ramps to your GoPro footage as you record it. So it is a cool feature. It really depends on what you plan to do with the GoPro. If you're heavy in post-production, this feature isn't really needed because you're going to be editing your GoPro footage later anyways. But if you're just a content creator or a prosumer that is a hobbyist and just wants one of these cameras and capture cool video as is, this is a cool feature to have. And the other thing they have is what's called hindsight, which is pretty cool. You can record 30 seconds up to actually hit record, which is a pretty cool feature. I see this a lot on like audio recorders where it like pre-records before you actually hit record, which is pretty cool. If you're kind of like a run and gun type of video shooter, this is really helpful because something might happen before you get a chance to set up your shot or get it. You have 30 seconds before you even hit record. So it's kind of like a smart camera in that regards. So it's a cool feature that is also in the Hero 9. All right, so let's talk about pricing. All right, so I just added this to the cart. So the grand total is going to be $349.98. You get the GoPro Black, 1-year subscription to GoPro, an SD card, which is really helpful because I know they're very picky on the type of SD cards they take. You want to make sure it's compatible, so it's nice you already get SD card, micro SD card with it, so you don't have to think twice. And the Hero 9 Black rechargeable camera battery. And that's what you get for the bundle. And with the subscription, I was curious, so I dug into this a little bit more. What you get with the subscription is unlimited cloud storage. So if you record on the GoPro Hero 9, you can automatically upload to the cloud and it backs up your videos or photos directly, and it's unlimited. So that's a cool feature. For me personally, I probably wouldn't use that because if you run a post-production department or if you're part of a video company, you probably already have your cloud storage figured out. You're probably not relying on GoPro to do that. But if you're just a hobbyist or someone that just wants a GoPro for fun or, for freelance or whatnot, this might be a cool feature. And the second thing is up to 50% off of GoPro.com. And it has a little number 2. And when we scroll down here, what it says is exchange up to 2 cameras per year for the same model, Hero 5 or later. So I believe you can get 50% off if you trade in your camera later. I believe that's what that means. And the third one is total camera replacement, which is very interesting that this is part of the subscription. It kind of made me scratch my head because they say it's the most durable, it's waterproof, it's the most resistant camera. So it's kind of funny that they're selling this because you know, what are the chances that your camera is actually going to break if it's so indestructible? So I don't know. I honestly don't think the GoPro subscription is worth it, but you might find it useful, so feel free to add it. You get the discount if you include it on the shopping cart. I believe it's a little bit more money if you don't have the subscription. If you remove it, let's see, I think it goes up to $399. So, you know, you can always cancel after a year, I believe. So there you guys have it. I hope that has helped you if you're looking at upgrading your Hero 9 to the Hero 9, or if you have old GoPro and wondering of upgrading. For me personally, I'm probably not going to upgrade because I primarily just do time-lapse videos or photos over time, and the Hero 3 Plus for me, it works perfectly. So I don't really need 4K or the slow motion that much. I don't really need the stabilization. But if I did do a lot more action shots, I definitely would consider upgrading to the Hero 9 or something more advanced with better stabilization. I think that is the key, the biggest difference, and probably the biggest benefit of getting the Hero 9 is that stabilization. So there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it has helped you. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.